Hello, lovely people. My name is Blue Raven, and I'm a light worker. I do a lot of work with light language activations and all kinds of energetic activations for humanity, for people one-on-one, and for the planet. And today I wanted to talk about what it means to be a starseed and some of the things that you may notice within yourself that you resonate with. So I'm going to talk about 10 things that show up a lot commonly for people who fit into this type of a category. If you don't fit into this category, or you don't resonate with all of these or only some of these, it doesn't matter. So let's get into them. I've got my lovely Cole's Notes version here. So one of the first thing is that when you come here from a very, very early age, you feel like you don't fit in and you don't belong. You can't find the people that you can feel and share the common ground with. And it's just not a fun feeling. The thing that you start to see is that you see that the systems that are in place here suck. They don't really work. Whether it's the education system or the financial system, health, politics, you look at it and you're like, what is this? I mean, we could do so much better. You know, these systems are really not helping people. You know, I mean, so many people are struggling financially. So many people are struggling with health issues. And, you know, we're told we have all these modern technologies and drugs, etc. And anything that has to do with prevention is completely poo-pooed. Meanwhile, our food, our cosmetics, our cleaning products are full of toxic chemicals, but somehow we're supposed to stay healthy, just as an example. Number 2, from a very, very early age, you notice that your parents, you didn't always agree with how they were doing things, how they were approaching things, especially when it came to parenting. And you could see that what you felt or what you believed was true for you. And yet you were punished for it, or told don't talk back or don't have attitude. Just the whole way of disciplining didn't make sense to you. And it wasn't being done in a way where it was from a conscious parenting perspective. And so that didn't feel good. Number 3. You don't like competition. You know, you're told to compete, to strive for better grades, or be the best at whatever it is you do. And it doesn't float your boat. It doesn't make you feel good about yourself. And you kind of feel bad for the person who didn't get number 1 or wasn't in first place. And instead of competition, you kind of just want to help everybody to get to their best as well as you get to your best. So that's something that a lot of times can play out. Number 4, you may realize that you have extrasensory experiences, even from a very young age. Like you may see things, you may see colors, you may see light, you may see beings. You may have beings that show up in your room at night while you're supposed to be sleeping and they want to communicate. You may be clairaudient and you hear sounds or you get messages. And, you know, you may have knowings about people that somebody's going to get sick or that somebody is sick and needs some healing. So you may find that you have these psychic abilities. You may find that they make you uncomfortable. You may find that at some point you even shut them down. So that can definitely happen. Number 5. Okay, you feel really alone. Like you don't have, especially when you're little and you're young, a teenager, even in university, kind of college age. Nobody sees the world the way you see it. And you don't have anyone to really share your ideas with. Or even when you try to share your ideas, they don't get it. They just go, oh, okay. And it doesn't land. It doesn't resonate anywhere. So you don't have that kind of connection with people. And you're kind of left with your own thoughts and feelings. and you really start to internalize them. And what can start to happen is that you feel like maybe you're the crazy one because everybody else tells you, well, you got to do this, you got to do that. And you're like, oh, I don't like it. So you start to feel like maybe you're the weirdo, and you start to feel like a weirdo. So welcome, weirdos. Number 6. Okay. Life goals. The life goals that society tells you you're supposed to have, or your parents tell you you're supposed to have, they don't do it for you. You know, you're told you're supposed to have a career by a certain age, you're supposed to get married by a certain age, have kids by a certain age, and you may want some of those things, but maybe not in the way you're told to have them. Maybe you want to go travel. Maybe you want to explore hobbies or other interests. Maybe you have a real creative streak and you want to just play with your art or your music or other things, but you're told nope, you gotta get a career so you can go make money and be a successful adult. Okay, so that's another one that happens. And you feel the pressure of doing those things, even though you may not want to. And then you start to sort of kill your own internal passion and your own internal desire. You start to shut it down, shut it off, because everybody tells you that's not right. And you try to fit in the world that you don't feel like you fit in. It's not a fun feeling. Okay, so that is number 6. Let me see what else I have here. Oh, and the other part of number 6 that I want to share is that you start to beat yourself up because you think that you're supposed to value the things that society is telling you to value, even though you don't. And so then you feel like somehow you're going to be a loser if you don't fit in. So then you feel like anxiety of having to fit in. Okay, and even if you don't necessarily want to go to university because nothing's really pulling you, or you don't like how things are taught in university because you could probably learn them faster and better on your own and a more updated version of. And but you're forcing yourself to go, no, I should. I'm supposed to have a career, because if I don't, then what am I going to do? I'm screwed. So those are some of the things that can start to happen. And then you're trying to fit yourself into that square hole and you're a round peg. Yep, that happens a lot. It can create a lot of anxiety. A lot of young people end up on medication, whether it's anti-anxiety, antipsychotic sometimes, because it's really messing with their psyche when they're going against what their own internal desire, their own soul is telling you. Number 7, speaking of getting anxiety, etc., you may actually start to get suicidal because this place feels so messed up to you and you don't fit in, you don't feel like you belong, and you just want to leave. And you may even have a sense that you want to go back home, wherever home is for you. You may not even know what that means. You may even have attempted suicide or have had thoughts of just leaving, checking out. So that happens. Number 8, it's so obvious, it's so logical even, that we're not supposed to pollute and poison our planet, because that's our home. We're not supposed to do that. And you know that. And we're not supposed to torture animals. You inherently know that. But it's taken a long time for the people around you to get that. And it's just really starting to take off now in the last 4 or 5 years, really. But we still get all our stuff from slave labor. So that seems to still be okay. And slave labor from teenagers. That's still something that people seem to be okay with. And we have great ways of justifying it in our society, don't we? And it just makes you scratch your head as to what kind of a place have you come to. All right, so number 9. The idea that you're supposed to somehow fit into this, but you don't fit into this, can be overwhelming, okay? And how you feel and how everybody else feels can feel so opposite. And it can create such overwhelm and such anxiety that it can actually create paralysis, where you feel so stuck and so scared to make a move because no move seems to feel right. So that can happen. And I'm speaking a lot here to younger people, but this can apply to all of us. Been there, done that myself. Number 10, you don't have the courage to speak your truth. That your voice has been shut down so much, even from when you were little. People giving you weird looks or kids in the playground thinking you're weird, that it's safer to not share and not speak. And to do and start to feel what you really believe. Okay? So that can happen a lot, and you just stay quiet, you don't share your opinions, or you share the opinions that you hear other people sharing, but they may still be a very limited version of what your big picture ideas are, your big picture beliefs are. So that is definitely an experience that can happen. So those are 10 things. They don't, like I said, have to all be this way. They can be different, but just having that kind of sense that things here are messed up. In that bigger picture, you know, we grow enough food to feed 10 billion people, and yet people are starving. It's like we have the technology to get that food to them. And at the same time, at the supermarket, all the fruit, same size. All the apples, same size. All the oranges, same size. But if you actually see an apple tree, it's got all kinds of apples. Big ones, little ones, weird twisty ones that have spots on them. Guess where those apples go? They go to the graveyard. Yeah, because, you know, they won't sell. We can't make money off of them. People are starving. Oh, well, that's not my problem. Or actually, people don't even think about that. They just know those apples are not going to sell. The supermarket chains are not going to buy them, and that's it. Luckily, there's more and more of us around that we're bringing this up to the surface. So, congratulations for being a weirdo, okay? Congratulations for being different and for feeling like you don't belong. Because what that really means is that you've come here from places that are more advanced. Whether you choose to want to believe that there's life outside of this planet or not, that's up to you. But a lot of people have had experiences of interactions with beings off of this planet. They're kind of our relatives. And a lot of souls choose to come here from those more advanced places to help. And especially now, a lot of souls have come to help, which is why things are even coming to the surface, where the exposure is happening and the awareness is happening, right? Like 20 years ago, there was no awareness around a lot of this stuff. And if you did say you were a vegan or something like that, you know, if you're a meat eater, it's okay, it's fine. But we don't need to torture animals. I mean, it's fine in that that's where you're at. Perfect. We're not here to judge anybody, but do we really need to torture animals in order to have them be sustenance? That whole concept would be laughed at not that long ago. So you've come from somewhere else that's more advanced. You've landed here and you're like, wow, this place needs some serious work and I don't really know what I'm doing here. Well, you've come here for a reason, okay? It's not an accident. There's a reason for it. And your soul has brought you here because you're here now to help create a new system. As you can see, we're going through a phase where things are changing and systems are going to be either crashing or transitioning. And we're all here to help with that. We're all here to share the knowledge that we all bring, some of the knowledge that we've shut down, some of the knowledge we don't even know we have yet because we haven't been inspired enough to have those ideas pop up in our head. Okay, so we're here now to bring that all out and to share it. Okay, and I remember for me, when I was really little, I'd see how angry my mom would get about certain things, and I'd be like, wow, doesn't make any sense, you know? Or I'd see how criminals who'd murdered somebody or beaten somebody up would end up in jail, and I could feel their trauma and their pain from their own childhoods. And I'd be like, these people need help, you know? They don't just need punishment. And yeah, maybe what they did isn't right, but they need help. But yet we lock them up in little concrete cells with bars and somehow expect that when they come out that they're going to have learned something. No, they're going to come out even more messed up than they were before. So I never really understood the world. It didn't make any sense to me. I was the why kid, and I could see things and I could feel things, and you don't want to share that with anybody because then people will think you're really weird. And it wasn't easy. And then you try to fit in and you go see some movie that makes you think deep thoughts, and you're trying to share those deep thoughts that, hey, you know what? We are supposed to live closer to nature. We're not supposed to live in concrete jungles, and people look at you with blank stares on their faces because they have no idea what you're talking about, and you're like 15, you know? And you don't want, especially at that age, you don't want to be treated as different. So it's not an easy ride when you come here from places that have more advanced knowledge, or you come here with knowings that you're here to share. But we're here now, and we're especially here now because we're getting ready for all of that kind of knowledge and experience and information and creative ideas to really come out, and for them to start to propagate and cultivate. Okay? So I want you guys all who need to listen to this, you're going to find it and you're going to listen to it. And it's going to, if those who need to hear this information is going to resonate with you. So I'm going to start a Facebook page. It's going to be a think tank, but because we don't want these ideas to come just from our mind, we want them to come from our own knowing and our own imagination. I'm going to call it an inspiration tank. Starseed Inspiration Tank. That's the name of the Facebook group, and you're all welcome to join. And I want it to be a place where you feel safe, where you can share your ideas of different ways of creating, different ways of being, different systems to have for humanity, to really allow humanity now to start to thrive. Not just sustainability, that's BS. That's absolute BS. But to absolutely thrive, because we have that capacity here. Okay? So join me, Starseed Inspiration Tank, and we can all share our ideas, network. You can find others that are like-minded, and I think it'll be a wonderful community that we can all create together. Thank you, and thank you for listening to all of this. Bye-bye.